Ah, traveler, it's always good to see you. I have a tale, if you have time to listen.
Rodney didn't wake up screaming. He didn't claw at his chest. He didn't check his wounds. He simply stood beneath the lantern, alive, and somehow not the same. Chapter 6. You died. The green lantern pulsed. Its sickly light flared once, twice, 3 times, like a heartbeat struggling to restart. On the 4th pulse, a shape coalesced beneath it. Bare feet, scarred legs, a rough, blood-stained loincloth. A familiar, splintered wooden club clutched in one hand. Rod stood by the lamppost. Not Rodney. He didn't gasp awake. No flailing, no scrambling, no panicked clawing at his chest, no hands flying to his throat to check for a bite that wasn't there. He simply existed. One moment there was only the lantern and the fog. The next, he was there, solid, steady, like he'd been standing guard all along. His eyes opened slowly. They weren't Rodney's eyes. Same shape, same color, same face. But the way they focused, sharp, cold, like someone had wiped the fear out with a rag and left only intent. He looked down at his body. His skin was whole, no torn flesh, no shredded shoulder, no bite mark at his throat, no jagged furrows across his ribs. But faint impressions lingered, ghosts of wounds, a dull ache where teeth had ripped him open before, a phantom sting along his chest where claws had dragged through skin, a memory of pain with no injury to match. He flexed his fingers one by one around the handle of the club, testing their strength. No tremor, no weakness. Each joint responded perfectly. He rolled his shoulder. The ghost ache nagged him, then faded as he dismissed it. His eyes swept the graveyard. He didn't seem surprised to be here. The crooked headstones, the skeletal trees, the air so cold it felt thin, like he was breathing the leftovers of someone else's oxygen. The fog coiling low to the ground like it was waiting for orders. He took it all in, not like someone waking in a nightmare, more like someone returning to a familiar street. Rod exhaled once, slowly. The lantern flame hummed softly beside him, its green light painting his bare chest and arms in sickly hues. No warmth came from it, only that faint, pulsing wrongness. He didn't flinch. He didn't step closer. He didn't step away. He simply turned his head. Something moved in the dark between the graves. The only change in his expression was the small narrowing of his eyes. A corpse stepped into view, then another, then 3 more. They came shambling between the headstones, drawn toward the lantern's glow. Their movements were slow but not mindless, like broken animals that had been pointed at a smell and told to hunt. One of them still had Rodney's blood smeared across its jaw. Rod watched them. No panic, no backing away. He shifted the club in his hand, bringing it up into a loose, almost casual guard. His stance adjusted effortlessly, feet apart, knees bent, shoulders loose. It wasn't textbook. It wasn't pretty, but it was balanced. The nearest zombie let out a low, rattling moan and lunged. Rod didn't shriek. He didn't stumble. He simply stepped sideways. The attack passed through the space he'd just been standing in. As the zombie stumbled forward, Rod brought the club down across the back of its neck in a clean, merciless swing. Crack! The body dropped, strings cut. He didn't watch it fall. The second one was already coming. This one moved faster. Maybe it had died sprinting. Maybe it had remembered. Its legs pumped hard, feet slapping the ground in a messy, aggressive charge. Rod's eyes flicked to it, calculating the distance, the angle, the timing. He didn't retreat. He went forward. He stepped into the charge, cutting the distance in half before the zombie expected it. The creature swiped out. He ducked under the claw without looking like he was in a hurry, his body dropping and twisting in one fluid movement. The club came up in an arcing uppercut. The blow struck the underside of the zombie's jaw with a sickening crunch. Teeth shattered upward. The head jerked back violently. Something in its neck snapped. It staggered, legs wobbling. Rod finished the motion, spun with the momentum, and brought the club down across its temple. Another sharp, efficient crack of bone. Another corpse collapsing into the dirt. The other three closed in from different angles, one from the left, one from the right, one from straight ahead. Claws out, teeth bared, rotten breath pouring in foul waves. Rod didn't seem overwhelmed. He flowed. The one on the left came first, reaching for his face. Rod pivoted just enough to let the grasping hand sail past his cheek, then hammered the club into its elbow. The joint folded the wrong way with a heavy, meaty pop. The limb went limp as the creature toppled forward. He stepped aside, letting the zombie's own momentum drag it past him, then drove the end of the club into the back of its head like pounding a nail. Wet impact. Stillness. The one from the right was already mid-swing. He didn't dodge. This time, he blocked. Rod shifted the club into both hands and met the incoming arm with the shaft, catching the blow on the wood. The impact rattled, but he absorbed it with his stance, legs grounded. Before the zombie could pull back, he twisted the club, rolling the limb open and exposing its side. His knee came up, sharp and brutal, slamming into its collapsing ribcage. Something caved. The zombie folded around the strike, gasping in a sound that might have once been breath. Rod stepped around it, fluid, economical, and cracked the club across the back of its skull without even looking directly at it. The last one reached him a second later. It swung for his throat with both claws. He stepped inside the arc of its arms and let them scrape along his shoulders, too close to build any real force. The zombie's face was right there now. Teeth, rotten tongue, molted gum flesh. If Rodney had been here, he would have screamed. Rod raised his head and met its gaze. No emotion, no fear, no disgust, just an almost clinical interest. He drove his forehead into its face. Bone met bone with a solid, heavy crack. The zombie's nose disintegrated into blackened pulp. It reeled backward, stunned. Rod followed, pressing the attack, his heel slamming down on its knee. The leg bent sideways with a snapping crunch. It dropped to one knee, jerking. He lifted the club one more time, brought it down, once. The graveyard went quiet again. Fog drifted lazily across the ground, curling around the pile of corpses at his feet. The green lantern flame steadied, shedding its thin, sickly glow over the scene, like someone had installed a streetlight over a crime. Rod stood in the middle of it all, breathing evenly, heart steady, body humming not with panic, but with a strange, distant satisfaction. 4 bodies, 4 kills. Souls peeled free and drifted toward him. He let them in. Warmth settled behind his sternum, heavy, familiar. Then the calm cracked. Memory rushed back. Disgust followed. "That wasn't me," he whispered. The lantern flickered beside him. Rodney turned away. And somewhere deep inside him, something waited. Next time, Rodney keeps moving. The graveyard grows quieter. The path narrows. And survival starts to demand choices he isn't ready to make. The light still waits ahead. But the deeper he goes, the more it feels like the graveyard is paying attention.
Wasn't that interesting? Now don't forget to subscribe for more.
And ring the bell for your server.